I grabbed my son's hand and walked out of my mother-in-law's house while she was still screaming at me, and now my husband says I ruined Thanksgiving for everyone. My son is 7. He's my stepson, technically, but I've raised him since he was 2 when his mom died. I've never called him my stepson, he's just my son. My mother-in-law has always had this thing about real family and blood, but it was mostly just comments here and there that my husband would shut down. Until yesterday. We showed up to Thanksgiving at her house around 2 p.m. The whole extended family was there, maybe 20 people. My mother-in-law had this whole elaborate table set up, like she does every year. China plates, fancy glasses, the works. Everyone started sitting down, and I noticed she was directing people to specific seats. She pointed my son to a folding chair at the corner of the room, not at the table, at a TV tray. I thought maybe she just ran out of room at the main table, but then I saw the plate she put in front of him. It was a paper plate, not even a good paper plate, one of those flimsy white ones from the dollar store. And the food on it? It was leftovers from what I'm guessing was a trial run earlier in the week. Dried out turkey, gummy stuffing. It looked like something you'd scrape off plates into the trash. Everyone at the main table had full portions of everything, fresh and hot. I walked over to her in the kitchen. Why is he sitting over there? She didn't even look at me. I needed the table for real family. I felt my whole body go cold. Excuse me? She's not blood. He's from that woman. She said that woman like it tasted bad in her mouth. I have my actual grandchildren here today. My husband's brother's kids were at the table, his sister's kids were at the table. My son was in the corner with dried out leftovers on a paper plate. I could hear the kids at the table already eating, laughing. My son was just sitting there staring at his plate. He's 7. He didn't understand why he was different, but he knew something was wrong. I walked back to the table and said to my husband, "We're leaving." He looked confused. "What? Why?" "Ask your mother." She came out of the kitchen, wiping her hands on a towel. "Oh, stop being dramatic. He's fine over there." My husband looked between us. "Mom, what's going on?" "I just thought it would be nice to have the real family together at the table this year." My husband's face went white. "Mom, what? I'm not saying anything wrong. He's not actually related to us." That's when I lost it. Not screaming, but I got very calm. "You're right. You know who else isn't related to you? Me." She rolled her eyes. "That's different." "Is it? Because I'm the one who's been sending you $3,000 every month for the last 4 years. The entire room went silent, like someone hit a pause button. My husband didn't know. I'd been doing it from my own account, my own job. She'd called me crying 4 years ago about losing her house, about how she couldn't afford her medical bills after my father-in-law died. She begged me not to tell anyone because she was embarrassed, so I didn't. Her face went from smug to absolutely pale. You said you wouldn't tell people that I've given you over $140,000? You're right, I wasn't going to, but that was before you told my son he's not real family." My husband stood up. "What the hell is she talking about, Mom?" She started stammering. His siblings were staring at her. The kids were quiet now. I walked over to my son and held out my hand. "Come on, baby, we're going home." He took my hand and whispered, "Did I do something wrong?" "No, you did nothing wrong. Grandma did." My mother-in-law started crying. "Please, I didn't mean it like that. I was just... The table was crowded. The table had 2 empty chairs. I counted. I got my son's coat and mine. My husband was just standing there in shock. His mom was trying to grab my arm, apologizing, saying she didn't mean it. His sister called me a bitch for humiliating her mother on Thanksgiving. We left. My son cried in the car, asking why Grandma didn't want him at the table. I didn't have a good answer. My husband came home 3 hours later. He was furious. At first, I thought it was at his mom, but no, he was mad at me for airing out family business and making a scene and using money to manipulate his mother. He said I was being dramatic, that she probably just didn't have enough food, that I should have pulled her aside privately instead of announcing the money thing in front of everyone. I moved the $3,000 automatic transfer, canceled it right there on my phone while he was talking. He's barely speaking to me. His family is blowing up my phone. Half of them are angry at me for disrespecting her mother. A few have reached out saying they didn't know she did that to my son and they're sorry. My mother-in-law has called 47 times. I'm not exaggerating, I checked. She left voicemails begging me to reconsider, saying she's going to lose her house, that she didn't mean it. My husband says I'm being vindictive, that I'm punishing his whole family because his mom made one mistake. He wants me to apologize to her and turn the payments back on. I told him that if she thinks my son isn't real family, then she can figure out her bills without help from someone who's also not real family. He slept in the guest room last night. This morning, my son asked why Daddy wasn't at breakfast. Am I the butthole for what I did? My mother-in-law leaned across the dinner table last Thanksgiving and whispered to my husband, "You could have married better," while I was literally passing her the mashed potatoes. I heard every word. She thought the conversation around us was loud enough to cover it, but I was right there. My hand froze mid-reach with the bowl, and I just stared at her for a second. She didn't even look at me, just patted my husband's arm like she was comforting him about some tragedy. My husband's face went red. He stammered something like, "Mom, don't," but she waved him off and took the potatoes from my hand like nothing happened. I didn't cause a scene. I finished dinner, helped clean up, smiled through dessert, but I stopped going to her house after that. My husband asked why, and I told him exactly what I heard. He swore he talked to her, said she didn't mean it that way, said she was distressed about her marriage falling apart. Her marriage had been rocky for years. Everyone knew her husband was done, but I didn't think that gave her the right to take shots at me in my own home, at my own table, eating food I cooked. She never apologized. Not once. My husband claimed he talked to her, but she told him I misheard and that I was too sensitive. So I went cold. No more holiday hosting, no more family dinners. I was polite when we crossed paths, but I stopped pretending we were close. Fast forward to March, her divorce finalized, and she lost the house. Apparently, her ex-husband got it in the settlement because she'd been having an affair for 2 years and he had proof. She had nowhere to go. Her affair partner wanted nothing to do with her once things got real. My husband came home one evening looking stressed. He sat down at the kitchen table and said, "So, my mom needs a place to stay for a while?" I was chopping vegetables for dinner. I put the knife down, wiped my hands, and looked at him. "For how long?" I asked. "I don't know, a few months maybe, until she finds an apartment." I nodded slowly. "And she asked you to ask me?" "Well, yeah, she knows things have been tense." "Tense," I repeated. I could feel my heartbeat in my throat. "She told you that you could have married better, at our table, while I was handing her food." He looked down. "I know, but she's my mom, and she's in a bad spot." I smiled. I don't know why I smiled, but I did. "Then she should stay with someone better." He blinked. "What?" "You heard me. She should stay with someone better than me. Since I'm apparently not good enough, I'm sure one of those better options would be happy to help her out." "Come on, that's not fair." "What's not fair is asking me to open my home to someone who disrespected me in it. What's not fair is expecting me to fix her problems when she couldn't even apologize for her words." My husband tried to argue. He said I was being petty, that family helps family, that she was desperate. I told him she had other family. She had friends. She had the affair partner who clearly didn't work out. She had options. Our home wasn't one of them. He called her that night and told her she couldn't stay with us. I could hear her voice through the phone, high-pitched and angry. She called me controlling, said I was keeping her son from helping his own mother, said I'd regret this. She's been in a motel ever since. It's been almost a year now. She works part-time, and apparently most of her paycheck goes to the room. My husband sends her money sometimes, and I don't stop him. It's his money. But she'll never stay in my house. His family thinks I'm cruel. His sister called me a few months ago and said I was punishing her mom for one comment, that she's struggling and I'm making it worse, that I should be the bigger person. I hung up on her. My husband doesn't push it anymore. I think he knows I meant what I said. But he's quieter now, sadder. He visits his mom at the motel every week and comes home looking exhausted. Part of me wonders if I should have just let it go, if I'm holding on to something petty while she suffers real consequences. She lost her marriage, her home, her stability. Maybe I should have been kind. But then I remember her face when she said it, that look of pity mixed with disgust when she looked at her son, like he'd made some terrible mistake by choosing me. And I remember that she never, not once, said she was sorry. Am I the butthole for keeping her out when she had nowhere else to go?
Ladies, today, you are not the butthole.